Hey, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Cosmos Atom. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. Also, if you haven't seen the previous update, make sure to check that out before watching this one so that you have more context. I also have two donation links down below in the description. Those will take you to official websites where you can support Ukraine, our refugees, Ukraine's military. And yeah, so thank you all for donating. Thank you all for supporting Ukraine. Let's get on with the video. So jumping into the daily chart right now, this is the chart from Binance on TradingView. As you can see, if I zoom out, as always, at the beginning of the video, I like to show you my Fibonacci retracement levels. So I used the low of March of 2020, and I used the swing high of May of 2021. We did land on the golden ratio there, and I did warn you that we would potentially land on the zero point 0.5 here on the Fibonacci retracement at $5.87. That's precisely what we have done here, and we have bounced from that area. And as you can see, if you watched my videos and you drew the fibs out and you potentially bought at this zero point 0.5 level, right now you're up 54%, almost 55, which is not a bad trade in my opinion. Now, if we adhere to this Fibonacci retracement and we do not lose this low, right? We do not lose the March low, and we do not lose the low of 2020 September that we printed here at the 0.382 Fibonacci level. If we don't lose these major lows, then I don't think we're going to be retracing all the way down to the zero level of the fib retracement. But if we adhere to the fib and we break through the previous all-time high, we are potentially looking at a $269 Cosmos Atom coin. So obviously this isn't going to come in a day, right? This is going to take some time, and I'm personally dollar cost averaging into all the altcoins at the moment because the markets are down and this is the time to be buying. But let's not worry about the long-term targets for now. Let's see what's going on with the price action at the moment. So the yellow trend lines here represent a rising wedge, and I think we are in this rising wedge, and the target from the rising wedge is going to be where the wedge was created. And the wedge was created over here. As you can see, this bounce from the yellow support is the wedge, is the point of contact that creates the wedge, because this is the first point of contact. This was the second, obviously. Then you have the third one almost here, the fourth one, the fifth one, but this is the first one. So this is your technical target. So usually what happens with these rising wedges is you tend to lose the support and then you retrace all the way down to where you created the wedge. So right now our technical target is at $6.05 for Cosmos Atom. Okay, because this is a bearish reversal pattern, and I would say 75 to 80% of the time, we end up breaking to the downside from this pattern. You end up losing the support, which is this yellow trend line, and we may just run into the 55 EMA on the daily. Okay, we may run into the yellow resistance of the rising wedge, and we may run into the 1.272 Fibonacci retracement level at $9.90. All of these three levels are in the same area here: the 55 EMA, the yellow resistance trend line, and the 1.272 Fibonacci retracement level. Now, let's say we did break through these resistance levels and we end up retracing to the upside, right? And at that point, I would tell you that there is another resistance level at the 1.414 fib. That is $10.50, and you have the 1.618, which is going to be your technical target, and it is our technical target at the moment because you broke through the first fib level. You broke through the swing high of this fib level, which is over here, June 26th. You broke through that. That's why you're targeting the 1.618 at $11.53. So this is as high as I think we're going to go. There's also a resistance level here at $12.45. This is where we got rejected back May 15th. But other than that, I don't think we're going to be going any higher than this, right? But this is still a potential solid up to 33.5% trade. Okay, so keep an eye on this level. If we start breaking through the 1.272, just target the 1.414, then target the 1.618, then target this resistance level. This is the daily chart. You can draw this all out on your chart, and it's easier to follow if you have it on your chart, obviously. And after that, this could potentially be a nice swing trading opportunity. You could potentially wick to the upside, but you're going to come back into the pattern eventually, in my opinion, and you're going to start dropping back down. And maybe some of the levels here will hold the price, and we won't drop to our technical target. But you usually do end up coming back to where you retraced from. Okay, so this will provide us with another great buying opportunity. Now, jumping into the daily RSI, for those of you who have been watching for a while, sometimes my RSIs do get a little bit messy, but I'm going to try to clear it up a bit here. So the white trend line here, we had a touch of resistance here. In January, we had another touch in March. We had a fake out in April. We broke through in June. And right now I'm looking for a back test of support here on this white trend line. The same thing for the orange trend line. We had one touch, almost second touch. We had a second touch here. We broke through in June, and now potentially if we lose the white trend line, we can end up bouncing off the orange one. And moving back, I do want to pay attention to the pink trend line here, because you do have multiple touches off of the pink trend line. You obviously did drop down here. You traded sideways for a bit, but you did break through, and potentially the pink trend line is something that's going to hold us as well. But I wouldn't have so many trend lines if I were you, because if you're new to crypto and you're new to technical analysis, it's best to keep things as simple as possible. So I would say just have a couple of support levels below you, and it's all good. You have another orange trend line here with a potential incoming bounce somewhere down the line during autumn, maybe. I don't know. We'll see how the markets react. Obviously, Bitcoin is going to be dragging the altcoins with it, so keep that in mind. And yeah, let's jump into the Binance website. So switching over to the weekly chart on the RSI, we are on the Binance website. I do want you to pay attention to a couple of resistance levels here for us. So a major resistance level here is this red trend line at 42.3 on the index, because you have multiple bounces from this area, as you can see, and you did lose this back in April. You had to move all the way down to the oversold, and now you're retracing. Potentially you're going to back test this as support and come back down for a lower low, for a higher low. Doesn't really matter, but I do think we're going to see a back test of resistance of this red trend line, so keep that in mind. We're breaking through this resistance trend line over here at 34, and potentially you're going to come back up and then back test this as support, potentially, right? All of this is probability, but like I said, look out for this relief rally into the red trend line. Moving up to the weekly stochastic RSI, as you can see, we're starting to move to the upside here. If you want to swing trade, maybe wait for the weekly to get a bit more overbought, and wait until you get into this area above the index of 80 on the stochastic RSI on the weekly chart. And that's when you potentially take some profits, and you can buy back in once you drop down into the oversold below the index of 20. But for now, I wouldn't be selling any Cosmos Atom unless you get really overextended to the upside. I mean, look at this. You have 13 weekly red candles. You are going to have some relief rally, but it's not going to be a full-on bullish reversal. You have a wave down, you have a retracement wave, you have another wave down, you have another retracement wave, and so on and so forth. Just the way you're going up, right? You have a move to the upside, you retrace a little. You have a move to the upside, you retrace a little. You have a move to the upside, you retrace. The same applies when you're going down. You have a move to the downside, you retrace. Another move to the downside, you retrace, and so on and so forth. And yeah, that's pretty much it regarding the chart here. I do think that Cosmos Atom will be one of the best projects, and it is already one of the best projects in the ecosystem. It is very undervalued. I'm currently staking my Cosmos Atom in the Kepler wallet. If you want to know how to do that and how to earn free airdrops doing so, then feel free to check out the link in the top right hand corner of the video. Also, I want to mention that I do have a Twitter. make sure to follow me on my Twitter. And I do post technical analysis over there, and I do have a Patreon. Feel free to join me on my Patreon. We do low cap gem calls, we do project reviews, I take your technical analysis and video requests, so feel free to check that out in the description as well. I'm going to catch you in the next one. Goodbye and good night.